Okay. Talking about this, I know a couple of illnesses or diseases or anomalies are classified or categorized.
Mm.
What are those forms of mental illnesses?
Huh. Mental form, mental,
Forms
mental,
of mental illness. Because
forms of
there was a statement, I don't know where it's quoted, but I remember somewhere we used to always joke about it, that there is a point in life where every living human being is kind of dement. It was more of a joke, but I do not know how true that is. That is.
Yeah.
That at one point we are mentally off.
Yeah.
So are there those forms and degrees of mental illnesses that I need to be aware of? Maybe I could be a victim.
Yeah.
And the earlier the better to combat it.
I would like to say that for those out there who are dealing with different kinds of mental disorders, it's very important to know that you're not alone. It's not many people who talk about it, but it's many people who are going through it. You're not alone, and help is there. There are different kind of mental disorders, but mostly what is most common is like depression, eating disorder, anxiety, addictive behavior, and stress.
Okay.
But for it to be, because we all can go through all those phases, regardless of which health condition you're in. But when it becomes persistent and it affects your sleep, it affects your work, it affects your relationship, it affects your community, it affects the places you go to, like schools, and yeah. When it becomes persistent, that is when it is looked at as a mental disorder.
Okay, thank you. Are there cases one can be mentally ill unknowingly?
I believe that, I don't know if you finished the question, but for me, I believe that many people have been through that without even knowing. And then when something happens, you get an aha feeling, you're like, because by some reason you got some, I don't know, it could be a guardian angel, that you got a turn around. And then when you get to talk about it or hear it again in another form or through others, then you're like, whatever I heard, that was a mental disorder, but I managed. But it does not go away by itself normally. So somebody must have done something. But yes, it can happen that you have some mental disorder without knowing, and then you manage so well. It can happen.
Okay, because you like you mentioned, depression, addictive behavior, stress. There are those mental disorders or mental illnesses one is well conscious of. But what seems risky, in my view, is that a form of mental illness where I'm a victim but unknowingly. Yes, you put it out that it is very possible to be a victim of such. You overcome it unknowingly. But is it overcoming it subconsciously, or is it overcoming it by virtue of your lifestyle? So I think being unaware of a state of mind, it is in a way kind of detrimental, because if, for example, COVID, yeah, we know the list of symptoms for any illness or any disease. We know there is there are those standard or researched symptoms. So for mental illness, me being mentally ill and yet unaware, do you imply that it is a type of illness where there are no standard symptoms that you cannot point to this to know that, okay, I'm mentally ill?
What I understood by your earlier question is about that whereby you can have some mental disorder without knowing, and then you manage well. But in many cases, somebody might not know that they have a mental disorder. Okay. But then there is also a possibility of just going through yourself. And if you're lucky, you can even be having good people around you that can be able to see that. But like something for a self-check, because okay, it's not easy to self-check yourself. But it's very important to self-check yourself. If there are some things that are going on over time, like overthinking, and it stops you to do the things that are important. If you are a person who are a people's person, and then all of a sudden you are invited to places you don't want to go, of course you can always have a good reason. But if your reason is to be like in being alone and then like just staring on the wall, and that is persistent, you don't shower, and then actually you are not even affected by your smell, because everybody smells if they have not washed themselves. But so as long as that is persistent, so when you feel that, and if you're among one of us who is online now, and if you've had something like that, sleepless nights, you sleep and wake up, or at times you can even sleep without it, and then you can even sleep like 12 hours, but you feel like you've not slept at all. If it continues, then it should be a bell. It could be even eating. Because some people say, yeah, but yes, that one eats like the person has never seen food. That person could even be like feeding a need. So it's very many things. But if you have some things that you see that are continuous and consistent, are happening over time, then it's time to see that, should I talk to somebody? And there is always somebody to talk to.
Okay. Yeah, so there is that insight of the symptoms one should be conscious about.